Within the migration studies field, the lion's share of research and discussions focus on countries in the global north. Countries in this group are typically rich and possess a large amount of power globally. Think along the lines of Europe, North America, and Australia. Not only are many research projects designed and led in the global north, but these initiatives often receive loads of funding and support from national governments, international organizations, and NGOs. This is of course problematic because migration is not just a phenomenon in the global north. We know that people all over the world are migrating. That is where the Migration for Development and Equality project, or MIDEQ, comes in. The project aims to mobilize resources for researchers in the Global South and establish and pursue their own research agendas. In this video, we'll look at the project's origins, themes, and impact, so let's dive in. MIDEQ is a 5-year project running from February of 2019 to February of 2024, so we still have quite some time left on this project. It is funded by the UK Research and Innovation Global Challenges Research Fund. The purpose of this fund is to address challenges that developing countries face. In this case, MIDEQ supports the fund's sub-initiative of strengthening capacity for research and innovation within both the UK and developing countries, and achieves this goal through interdisciplinary research. While hosted by the Center for Trust, Peace and Social Relations at Coventry University in the United Kingdom, the MIDEQ team is a multifaceted group with more than 100 researchers based in more than a dozen countries. Overall leadership of the project consists of a director and a team of co-directors, and the project is overseen by an advisory board. A group of co-investigators are tasked with leading research in the countries that make up the corridors, supported by a team of researchers and thematic co-Is who undertake the comparative analysis. Beyond this main group of staff members, MIDEQ values input from project partners who present major players in the migration field, like the International Organization for Migration, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and more. And there are a growing number of local partners in each of the countries who help implement MIDEQ's development interventions. Now let's look at the project's overall goal. In terms of desired impact, MIDEQ has identified 3 main goals: building capacity for academic research in the Global South, improving the lives of migrants and their families, and changing narratives surrounding migration. Hence, while MIDEQ is a migration research project, it aims to translate this knowledge and expertise into change at the local, national, and international level. Now, the Global South in total would be an enormous study area. So the project focuses on 12 countries highlighted on this map. Notice that they are paired up into migration corridors. This is a strategic part of the project's methodology and serves as a framing device. Essentially, the corridors are an indicator of the movement of people, goods, money, knowledge, and skills between 2 countries. If you'd like to learn more about migration corridors, you can check out the video on this channel specifically on migration corridors here, and it will be linked in the description below. The selection of countries for each corridor is also deliberate. The 2 countries in a corridor share social, cultural, economic, political, and/or historical dynamics that affect the movements between them. And they are all quite different, with different types of migrant flows and policy responses. For example, let's look at the China-Ghana corridor's landing page on the website. First, we have a brief summary of the relationship between the 2 countries. While the absolute number of migrants traveling between them is not enormous, the implications of the relationship between these countries is significant. China's significant investment in infrastructure projects and private business stimulate Ghana's economy, and in turn, we're seeing more people from Ghana migrate to China for educational and trade opportunities. Let's look now at the right side column of this page. Besides information about the corridor leads and institutions, we also see a collection of themes here. These 3 themes guide the research questions for the China-Ghana corridor, which are found at the bottom of the page. We can see that all questions are in line with the themes of gender inequalities, poverty, income inequalities, and resource flows. Before looking at the full list of themes for the project, let's first lay out the 4 programs of work. These are general concepts or initiatives that the research themes are carrying out. First, we have access of inequality, some of which include gender, childhood, and income. The goal here is to see how people's livelihoods are affected differently based on their characteristics. Next are the migration processes and outcomes. These can be things like decision-making, intermediary actions during the migration journey, and resource flows across borders. Then we have development interventions that are specifically designed to reduce migration-related inequalities. And finally, there is monitoring, evaluation, and learning. This process is completed through household surveys and multimedia methods to assess MIDEQ's interventions and impact. These 4 parallel programs yield 11 research themes. Let's look at resource flows as an example. In the left side column, we can see migration corridors investigating resource flows along with the theme lead and affiliated institutions. As with migration corridors, we can see a list of research questions at the bottom of the page to guide the team members' work. The questions are both descriptive, so they prompt the researchers to describe resource flows, and analytical, in the sense of assessing the effects of these flows. Now, let's talk about the end goal of this project. Although its current funding ends in 2024, team members are pursuing possibilities of additional funding to continue their work afterwards. The first pieces of output we can observe are under the website's Resources menu. Here we see outputs in multiple formats such as working papers, case studies, policy briefs, and multimedia items like videos, animations, and podcasts. You can use the filter on this page to display outputs for specific research themes and/or country corridors. There is also an impact menu on the website that specifically shows reports of the project's interventions. Remember that MIDEQ's overall impact approach has 3 components: building academic capacity, improving the lives of migrants and their families, and changing narratives. You can thus filter by these 3 approaches to see reports and multimedia outlining the ways steps have been taken to make this impact on the ground. I hope this video gave you an idea of the work that is being done to decenter the production of knowledge around the relationship between inequalities and migration in the Global South. There is certainly more information to be found about different MIDEQ migration corridors and research themes, not to mention outputs and impacts achieved so far. I therefore encourage you to spend some time exploring the website and catching up on the research you find most interesting. The website can be accessed in English, French, and Brazilian Portuguese, and Arabic. Don't forget to share this resource with your colleagues and friends, and I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, be sure to click that button so you don't miss any of the videos that we upload every week, and I hope to see you next time.